We are live. Welcome to Super Bowl week. Beau Gleason, Robbie Jokinen, Daniel Lisenby. We're
We're back,
here,
folks.
and we got two NFL pods this week. We're not a lot of college football news this time of the life cycle. I mean, there is college football news, and we'll talk about that. Steve Belichick, welcome to Seattle. But we got two NFL pods this week. First and foremost, big one. All the NFL head coach hirings are done. Most of the coordinator hirings are done too, actually. With a stark exception up there in the Pacific Northwest, which
Up in Siberia.
I'm sure Robbie Jokinen would be happy to expand upon once we get to it. We'll obviously review the conference championship game since we didn't have a chance to do that last week, but we'll be fast with that because we got Super Bowl picks to get into. Be fast. Obviously, it's only one game. And then I'm going to talk about some NFL awards that are coming up this Thursday and a little extra competition because who doesn't love a little extra competition on the West Coast Draft podcast? And then
West
let's see,
Coast
this might
Competition Podcast.
the West Coast Comp podcast. And then if we got time, we're gonna hop into some, and this might be end up being a Thursday thing. We'll see, but if we do, we'll hop into some a little fun little experiment we're running for the draft season because my friends, Senior Bowl's passed, Shrine Bowl's passed, NFL Combine invites are going out. We're almost there. We're almost there,
In a couple
guys.
of days, it will be draft season.
Yep, that's true. That's true. As soon as the final whistle blows in Las Vegas on Sunday evening, it's draft season, baby. So,
You
but
know,
before we go ahead,
no, you finish. You
I
finish. I
was
got
gonna
an
say
opening thought.
before we go any further, gentlemen, how are we feeling?
It's good to be back. We've been on a break, mostly because of me. Had probably the flu that just kicked my butt. I was out of commission for about a good week and a half. Still a little sniffly, but we gotta get back to work. But opening thought. Is there a prop bet on how many arrests there will be of players before the Super Bowl?
I don't know if there's gonna be anywhere. I did see who said it was I think it was Joe Buck literally said on like a Radio Row today. He was like
Yeah,
having the Super Bowl in Vegas is the dumbest thing ever because
he
there's
is
going to be stuff that does not stay in Vegas.
absolutely right. He
Oh
is
yeah.
absolutely right. It is a bad idea. I mean, what happened with the Pro Bowl?
Hmm.
Was it last year, 2 years ago? It's not a good
Yeah. Yeah.
idea.
Alvin Kamara. Yeah. So I
Gonna be a bad place to have Patrick Mahomes' dad. Ooh, was that too soon? Ooh.
no, it's relevant. It's relevant.
I sent
So
you that. I sent you guys that pretty edgy Gronk tweet. I forgot what it was, but it
it
was
was
making a
Patrick Mahomes' dad, CJ Stroud's dad
Oh
tweeting
yeah,
to
that
each
was
other.
that was bad. That was bad. Oh, that was a
Um,
good one.
There we go. So it was, yeah, that was pretty rough. That was pretty rough. But Daniel, how are we feeling? I know we're coming off a rough Oilers loss, and we'll talk about the Lions, but how are we feeling other than that?
Yeah, pretty good, man. Few ups, few downs. Blessed overall. Can't
Hmm.
complain.
I
Shout
feel
out
that.
another loss this week. Daniel was a sub on my flag football team.
Oh,
Uh,
Yeah.
Tough
Dude,
L.
yo,
man.
yeah. Back on Sunday, the first play of the game, I made my first catch like off a
Awesome
tip
catch.
ball. Yeah, and basically because I was like really off balance getting it, so I ended up stumbling for a few yards, and then I got turf burn on the first play.
Mm.
Ooh, I might have footage of that catch.
Man, that's is not a good way to start the evening.
I
I'll
believe I have
tell you that
footage of
much.
this catch.
Man, Daniel, did you ever stop to consider that maybe you're the problem?
For
All your
what?
teams are
Turf
losing,
burn?
man. I'm just playing. I'm just
Yeah,
playing.
that's right. I was like me trolling Oregon fans saying that Herbert was the problem.
I did see that. That was classic.
That was a
That
good
was
one.
classic. Sometimes, and I know you're trolling, but sometimes I'm tempted to just like get pride in one of your posts. Like, come on, man, it's too much. It's too much. But I let it slide. Sometimes I'll like it because
I've
sometimes,
been I've
especially when it's
been
roasting Courtney Morgan, I'll be
I've
laughing at
I've
it.
embraced the trolling. I've gone to the dark side very much.
I like the Duck Zone 503, the fruitcake hot dogs or whatever. I did
It
see
was
those.
Mountain Dew. It
Those
was
or
Mountain
Mountain
Dew
Dew
hot
hot
dog.
dogs. That's right. Yeah.
I was like, yes. That wasn't me though. I retweeted it. I wish I discovered that. But do you hear the tragic thing? He's ending the podcast.
I did see that. And he said he's
Duck
gonna still
Jones
be
ending the
active on
podcast.
Twitter, but what's happening on the
Hey,
podcast,
I
man?
don't watch, I don't listen to the podcast because it probably sucks. Although this one time one of my former high school classmates showed up on it, which was like an absolute shock to the system. I was like, what the fuck is this? He's a Coug fan. And my biggest worry is he won't keep doing the vlogs because he didn't vlog USC or Oregon State.
Oh
It's
no.
like, are we losing? Just this is why, although I did make fun of him a lot, but people made fun of him too much because if you make fun of him so much, you don't get those pieces of art of his videos anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever see that? Like, I don't know if it was, I think it was a blog post of like when the Connor Stallions watching and recording other games happened. It was like this guy was recording a game right in front of me, and it was the Duck
Oh, I
Zone
did
guy.
see that. I
That
did
was a
see that.
classic.
Yeah. That was
Oh
great.
man, I'm
That
so
was
bummed I didn't get to see him in
mhm.
Husky Stadium.
Yeah. Well, I say, we got a pretty busy agenda. So how about we just rip the Band-Aid off and we hop right
All
into
right,
conference championship
let's do
talk.
it, Danny.
All right, Danny, we'll let you lead off. I know it's been about a week and a half now, so hopefully recovery's set in by now. How are we feeling? What are your takeaways from this game?
Man, that was the greatest half of football, of Lions football that I've ever seen.
Hmm.
That was a beautiful
It
memory.
was. It was almost perfect, honestly.
I was
It was.
so happy. I was texting in the group chat, just calling Amon-Ra St. Brown elite after every catch, and I felt so good. And then the second half happened, and I
Mm.
just shut down.
Hmm. It
And
got
it
real quiet in the second half, I will say. The group chat went from fired up to
Yeah,
to
I wasn't gonna prod at all there. I was like, just
yeah.
gonna let this happen.
oh my
I knew it
God.
was gonna happen too. I knew it was too good to be true.
Dude, I know.
I'm
And you
just
know why it's too
happy
good to be the
I
easiest
was
reason to say it's too good to be true is because it's the Detroit Lions. That's
mhm.
the easiest reason to give it.
I was really worried that the ref fuck was gonna come, but it didn't it never happened. It never happened.
Instead of the ref fuck up, we had a Kendall Vildor fuck up.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Bonk. He Jamal Adams did.
Yeah.
Dude,
You literally did Jamal Adams it
yeah,
on
bro.
the second biggest stage in the NFL,
Hmm.
not in a random Sunday night game in Pittsburgh.
Well, and he did the same thing. He did that too in against the Browns this year in the throwback game. And that one actually won us the game because
That's true,
it
because
deflected off his head rather
yeah,
than in a good way rather than a bad way.
yeah.
Anyway,
So
yeah, it was a it was a fun game for a little bit, and then it kind of just petered out. I was pretty sad for the next couple of days, but we can cover after that, of course. It is what it is. Lions had a good run this year. Honestly, looking at the team on paper, I'm in hindsight, I'm kind of surprised they made it as far as they did. I think part of it, they kind of got lucky with some of the matchups going into the championship game. Like they played the Rams and the Bucks
mhm.
in the first two rounds,
Both at
which
home too, yeah.
both at home, so it's like relatively favorable compared to like what other teams had to face. But yeah, even looking at it in hindsight, I'm kind of surprised we made it as far as we did. Because the thing is, like the team was always pretty. I think I was telling you, Beau, like way back before the season started. I think even before the draft started, because you and I caught up like back in it was like around this time last year, maybe like
Hmm.
weeks after. And I was telling you, I think the Lions are once again like a 9-8, 10-7 kind of team. I think I mentioned like, they have a good chance of winning the division, but the team is still pretty limited. They still need a couple more years. But no, they come out, beat the Chiefs opening night, crush the Packers in Lambeau, win 12 games, go to the championship game, all with a pretty limited team. And you know what? You got to be proud of the boys for fighting the way they did. Jared Goff, he wasn't the problem in that game. He had a really good game against the Niners. It was one of his better road showings of the year.
Hmm.
The receivers started getting butterfingers in the second half, but a lot of them looked pretty good throughout the years. So,
Yeah.
I think the receivers for playing hard and getting open, making the right plays. The running game has been exceptional, continued to be exceptional actually, even in the Niners game. And I think it's going to continue to serve us well. Um, Sam Laporta, he's a cyborg, man.
He's
Really
so
happy to
good.
have him. Great fucking player. Great fucking player. I'm excited to see how he grows next year. Ben Johnson coming back. That's the thing too. Ben Johnson coming back.
It's
Brad
big.
Holmes with his
That's
press
big.
conference yesterday just went up to the podium and just like basically just had a multiple mic drop moments. It was great. I love Brad Holmes. Great GM.
I did like how he
Gonna
was
spend for him soon.
calling people out for
Yeah.
when he would get they'd call him out for his draft picks and he was like, yeah, that's fine, but like come back to me and admit you're wrong later when they work out. And he called the reporters out for it and it was honestly respectful. And he wasn't doing it in a mean way either. It was kind of he was laughing while he was saying it, but it was good. It was a good press conference, I think.
It was, man. I'm thankful that we have Brad Holmes at GM. I'm thankful for Dan Campbell at head coach. I think a lot of people were saying like Dan Campbell cost us the game with the calls. Bullshit. Every time people call that out, I always call bullshit because if we convert those fourth downs, all of a sudden he's a genius.
Yep.
He's the greatest coach in football history. So
Hmm.
any fan that wants to give arguments about coaches fucking up because they're being too aggressive or they're not aggressive enough, like shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up. If they execute those plays and they win the game, they look like geniuses. If they don't, then yeah, it's whatever. Who cares?
Hmm.
You want to criticize Dan Campbell? You can criticize things like play calling. You can criticize things like general clock management. Fine. But fourth down play calls, like going for it on fourth down or going for punts or field goals, whatever, no, no. Because those are 50-50 shots. You either get it or you don't. And that's not on the coach. If it's on the coach, then you have to also congratulate him and call him a genius when he gets it right.
Yeah, it does
If you're
work
also
out. Yep.
gonna,
He's not going to abandon the identity of his team on this
he's not
stage.
going to, and he shouldn't. Like that's Dan Campbell's style. That's his
Hmm.
style. He goes for it on fourth down.
He
A
made
lot
the
of
right call before half to kick. That's the one time. If it's before half, I think you should always kick. But
yeah, and I
uh,
agree. I agreed with that call when he
I
went for
agree
the
with
field
his
goal.
calls too. They just weren't
Yeah,
executed well, you know?
yeah, and
Hmm.
like kind of what I mentioned before, like the receivers got butterfingers in the second half. One of the fourth down calls, it was like an out route to Josh Reynolds.
Hmm.
Jared Goff threw a great pass. It was a pretty
Yeah.
good pass, and Josh Reynolds dropped it.
Yep.
And that kind of continued spurring the
Yeah,
Niners comeback. So
all the
Hmm.
momentum was in the Niners'
yep,
favor at that
the
point.
ball going off Vildor's helmet, the Jahmyr Gibbs fumble, the Josh Reynolds drop, the receivers just continuing to drop passes throughout the
Bunch of
rest of
bad
the game.
things happened in a row. They kind of spiraled. It was
Yeah,
the fumble was definitely a spiraling moment.
yeah.
At that point, it was like nothing can go right. So,
And before I get into the defense, shout out to Jameson Williams. Honestly, that championship game, that was his best game of the year.
hmm
He's definitely
He
gonna look
looked
like a
good.
piece for next year.
I'm
He
glad I have
that
him
I'm
on my
hoping that
dynasty team.
game is a good sign for things to come. So shout out to JMO. He's been getting a lot of shit from some fans because of the suspension, because of him maybe not breaking out as much as some fans thought. But he's got heart, man. He always works hard.
Hmm.
So you can't criticize that. Now the defense. Aiden Hutchinson needs a partner. He needs a partner. When he goes up against O lines with Trent Williams, that's where it really shows. Aiden Hutchinson can carry the D line a little bit when we go up against terrible O lines, but the Niners have a pretty good O line. He needs a partner. He needs a Max Crosby. I want the Lions to trade for Max Crosby. I am begging Brad Holmes
Bring him
to
back to
call
Eastern Michigan.
to call Vegas right now and be like, bring Crosby home. I want him paired with Hutch. That
If the
is
Raiders
the
hadn't hired
starting
Pierce, you
line.
probably would have had a really good chance of making it happen too.
We can still make it happen.
I mean, you still could, but
Yeah. Pierce is a good coach, but Vegas is crap. Detroit's good
hmm
now. We're a good team.
that's true.
We
That
deserve
is
good
true.
players for once, bro. Please.
That's
I
true.
just want Max Crosby, man.
Josh Allen's a free agent, man. Go after him. Brian Burns is a free agent. Go after
Brian
him.
Burns
There's
is a
some
free. That's
good edge
true.
rushers on the table.
There
That's
are.
true. If we can't trade for Crosby, I'm down for Brian Burns. Get him
Uh,
in a good
That would be
program.
a really good compliment, in my opinion. I think.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mm,
that'd be good. So that's the D line.
Is
Linebackers.
it is it a hot take that Brian Burns might be a better overall player than Max Crosby, all around player and playing the run, more complete
No,
player,
I
maybe?
think you could go either way with them. They're both elite edge rushers.
mhm.
I think you can make any argument work. Going into linebackers, guys. How about Rodrigo getting a pick on Brock Purdy in the first half?
What happened
That
to
was
Jack
great.
Campbell? He's hurt, right?
Uh Derek Barnes was hurt.
What happened to Jack Campbell though?
Jack
Is he
Campbell
still
was
playing?
playing.
He's
Yeah,
playing. Okay.
Jack Campbell and Anzalone were starting. It's just Rodrigo filled in for Barnes.
Oh, okay, okay,
Barnes
okay.
picked up an injury during practice, so he didn't get to play in the Niners game. But
Hmm.
yeah, linebackers look fine. Honestly, Anzalone, man, again, another guy that kind of gets some shit sometimes, but the man, he breathes the Detroit culture, man. Like he's a good piece for us,
Hmm.
even with his limitations. I think Jack Hamill's going to come around next year. I'm not too worried about the linebackers too much.
Hmm.
Safeties, I'm pretty neutral on what we do with CJGJ going into the offseason. He has some good moments, bit of a trash talker. It is what it is. I mean, according to Brian Branch, it seems like he's a pretty well liked guy on the team. So maybe they keep him around for another short term deal. Other than that, though, like safeties are relatively deep. I'm curious what we're going to do with Tracy Walker because he didn't play much this year. I mean, Kirby Joseph is still, coming around. CJGJ is going to be playing if he stays. If Fetu Melifanu came around the last few games this year, he's primarily been playing safety. So there's going to be an interesting battle there. Now, what I really want to talk about on the defense is the corners. I will not take Cam Sutton slander, guys. Cam Sutton is a genuinely good corner who has been tasked with playing on an island because the rest of our corners are so god awful that he has to guard all these top receivers. He's had to guard Justin Jefferson twice. He's had to guard Mike Evans. He's had to guard CeeDee Lamb, Debo Samuel, or not even, had he guarded? I don't know if he was guarding Debo specifically, but I know he was guarding Mike Evans.
He was definitely put on an island, and no matter unless you're the top cornerback of your era in your prime, such as like Jalen Ramsey, Richard Sherman, um, uh, Darrelle Revis, you'll get burned a certain amount. That's just how it works. That's how defense works.
Hmm.
You can't blame Cam Sutton there. He was asked to do so much.
Yeah, and he's mostly a zone corner too, who's been tasked with playing man on some of the top receivers in the league the last few weeks. So yeah, for what he was tasked with doing, I thought he was pretty good. And I
Hmm.
think if he gets slotted into like a 2 CB or a 3 CB kind of role, I think he's going to really shine. As for the other corners on our team, Kendall Vildor, I do not want him starting next year. Please. Jerry Jacobs, he could be an okay backup, but he should not be starting this year or this upcoming year. Will Harris needs to go. Hopefully, Stephen Gilmore's been on our practice squad for a little bit, and I've heard some good things about him. So I hope he starts to come around. But that's kind of my two things I want this offseason. I want a partner for Hutch, and I want a really, really good corner or like a good stable of corners because that's like the one main remaining weakness of the team is
Cooper
our corners.
DeJean, you are a Detroit Lion.
He's not going
I
to be
do.
available at
I'm for it.
29.
I'm for it, man. I'm down. I could be a good Dan Campbell guy.
Uh, the guy from Toledo had a good Senior Bowl.
He's probably not going to be available at 29 either. Q Mitchell.
Yeah, Q
Yeah, I'm
Mitchell.
hearing top 20 talk on him now.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know who might be a guy though to look out
Who?
for?
Who?
My boy Ennis Rackstraw.
That's an
That could be a
awesome
guy.
name.
That's an awesome
That is
name.
a cool name.
So, but we'll have all draft season to talk about that.
What about
Agreed
the
though.
Penix from NC State? Did he declare?
Who?
There's a Penix with two N's at NC State. Did he declare?
I haven't seen his name on any of my draft boards,
Ah,
so I
P
not that
E
I'm
N
aware of.
N I X.
PNNIX. Oh, that'd been funny if there were two of them. Maybe who knows? I
Along
just
with
haven't seen it.
Kalen DeLoach.
Kalen DeLoach. I love that. Yeah, there's a linebacker from FSU. He's at the Shrine Bowl. He actually was okay at the Shrine Bowl too. Um, just made me reminded me that Kalen DeBoer is a leech.
You can smell the
The
sulfur as he leaves.
the enemy of the state, Kalen
It's
The
DeBoer.
enemy of the
that's
state of
a that's a
Washington.
trait of the devil right there.
Yep, that's right. That's right.
You
Interesting.
know why he doesn't have all that hair in those specific spots? Is because that's he's shaving down his devil horns.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. He's just gotta shave it, man. It feels like it's gotten worse since he left
It
UW. I feel
has. He
like,
looks worse. He looks so
yeah,
much worse. He
yeah,
definitely gained a lot of that weight back too.
yeah. He's struggling, man. He's
He does
struggling.
not look good. He's
No,
like he's having to recruit with the big boys.
he hasn't done much yet. I mean, he's pulled in like what two
Ryan
five
Williams.
stars. Ryan Williams, fair. Also lost the one of the best safeties in the country, and Caleb Downs in his first weekend on the
He
job.
saw the defensive tape from last year. He was like, nope.
Oh, let's be a Buckeye. um, but
They fixed their defense.
well, yeah, the Buckeyes are looking good
If
next
only they
year.
did that the year before when they had
Right.
Stroud.
Yeah, I'm Buckeyes might be my national championship pick for next year.
They need a
Um,
quarterback.
they do need quarterback. We'll see though. I mean, they got Will Howard, so
I don't think Will Howard can elevate. I think
it's
okay.
just the other
It is
teams that
12
the
team
teams he's
playoffs.
competing with also need quarterbacks primarily.
Yeah, I think this is probably a bit more of a down year for the Big Ten. Uh, because UW, USC, and Michigan are definitely lost a lot of talent. Oregon's a huge
Hmm.
threat. As much as I hate to say it, they're gonna find a way to blow it because they always do, though.
They always do. It's
They
in
won't
their
be able to win
nature.
a natty. It's gonna be probably Georgia. Georgia's my natty pick,
True. I forgot. Yeah, Georgia's bringing back Carson Beck too.
and everybody. They're bringing back everybody. They got Stackhouse, baby.
They do got Stackhouse, baby.
Best nose tackle name out there.
Yep, that's true. That's true. But
The only
let's get
big
into
piece
the
they're losing is Van Pran.
Bow and Bowers, obviously.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Oh, and
yeah.
actually, and Lad McConkey, who, by the way, was freaking uncoverable at the
He had a
Senior Bowl.
really.
He
He's a
was
ram.
insane.
He's gonna be a ram.
He's such a ram, bro. He's such a ram. But
He's a good player. He's a good player.
yeah.
Who else
Um,
had a really good Senior Bowl? Oh
there's
gosh,
a
we're getting so
couple.
sidetracked.
Not Darius
Hey, you know who had a
Robinson.
good? You know who had a good Senior Bowl?
Who's
Rattlerhead,
Rattler? Oh, he
baby.
did have a good dude. I'm hearing some
I told you
QB4 talk on him now.
I was on it
QB4.
first.
Even you weren't saying
Yes,
QB4.
I was. I said QB3
Really?
before the rise
Okay.
of Daniels. Yeah.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair. Okay.
Um.
Okay.
No. Yeah, he is my QB4.
Okay. There you go. There you go.
I've liked Rattler a lot. Now he had a great Senior Bowl.
Well, I'm not a big fan of McCarthy or Nick, so
No,
and
no.
the red flags on
All the
Penix are
quarterbacks,
there.
all the quarterbacks had bad Senior Bowls except
Yeah.
Rattler.
Mm-hmm.
Had a pretty up and down one.
It's
You
I
know
mean
who
I
had a
mean
really good Senior Bowl as well, who is now number one in his position group?
other than Q Mitchell,
Yeah,
Jackson Powers Johnson.
no, but I think he was already number one in this position group.
Who's
He did
that?
have a good Senior Bowl though. Uh, Eloise Fuaga,
Oh, really?
Alt
Over
and
Alt and
Fashanu
Fashanu?
have plummeted. No, there's a lot of dudes above them.
Really?
Latham and Guyton.
I am not a Latham fan. And we'll talk more about this in the end. I'm not a Latham fan. Like of all like the top 5 or 6 tackles that could be
It's a
available at
great
18,
tackle class
Latham's
though.
probably the one that I would take Mims over Latham.
I like Fuaga.
Oh no,
He
Flocka's a beast. Flocka's
I
amazing.
think he's tackle one right now. I
I
think
would
he
still
really could
probably
be.
put Alt up there, but Flocka's a dude, man.
He had it.
Flocka's a dude.
Him against Latu
Oh yeah, he
in
threw him on the
one-on-ones.
ground, man.
Jeez. Isn't Taluisu Fuaga from Tacoma?
He is, yeah.
I'm not complaining about our tackle play at all, but it's like, how did we let him go?
Right. Yeah, it's
Smitty was a good adversary, though. He knew what he was doing.
yeah. So, but before we get too sidetracked, let's
Oh,
talk about the other
gosh.
game, the
Yeah.
Balta fraud game. I guess I can lead with this one. Ha, ha, ha. Vindication. Man, January was a month of vindication for me from Kalen DeBoer revealing who he was. It started with Kalen DeBoer revealing his true nature and ended with Baltimore being shown to be the frauds I always knew they were. It is a bummer to see the Chiefs in another Super Bowl. I won't lie. It's been annoying this week. All the Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, whatever. Whatever, though. For that lone right moment on that Sunday afternoon, it was amazing to watch those Ravens fans crying in the stands because they knew. And I'm not going to say this was their one shot. On my burner, I like to go to Ravens fans' accounts and tell them this was their one shot and they blew it.
They think
But
it
they
is,
are
though.
losing.
They
They
agree.
lost almost their entire defensive coaching staff. Justin Matabike, Patrick Queen, Geno Stone, OBJ, J.K. Dobbins, ridiculous amount of free agents, almost no cap space, and they're not going to be picking high to supplement those losses. So I'm not going to say they're not going to be back, but it's an uphill climb to get back. Oh, and need I remind you, a certain someone's coming back next year too.
That's why you
So
wore that. That's why you wore
Uh,
that. You
yeah,
that's you've been waiting that long to say that, huh?
it
You've
is.
been planning this out for like a week, haven't you?
I've been playing it out for basically that's why I actually wanted to do the Tuesday pod last week before I
Oh
found out
yeah.
you were sick. I was ready to go. I pulled this out ready to go.
Oh my God, you were planning
Um,
that out like a kid before a field trip the night before. Um,
exactly.
I think they're gonna tag Matabike.
I
I
think
don't
so
think
too.
Matabike's
I
gonna be
think so
gone, but
too.
they're losing a lot. Like yeah, I've been on a lot of Ravens pages just looking at their reaction of when McDowell took the job. And they agree with you. They think this was their year because it was like everyone's we stayed mostly healthy.
Hmm. Which it's the
Burrow was
Ravens. You
out.
never expect the Ravens to
No,
stay
no.
healthy.
We uh we lost Mike McDonald, This was the easy the Chiefs were down.
The Chiefs were down. Burrow's hurt. I think I went down the breakdown. Burrow was hurt. Chubb was hurt. Matt Canada was still employed. The Chiefs were down this year. The entire Bills team, other than Josh Allen, forgot how to play football out of nowhere. CJ Stroud's still a rookie. He's gonna have another year of seasoning next year. AFC's a gauntlet, and this might have been the Ravens' chance.
It was their chance. MVP year from Lamar.
MVP year from Lamar, and he
And
puts
the
up 10 points in the AFC
the
Championship
offense
at
lays
home.
a fat egg. The defense
Oh,
did their
horrible.
job other than
No, they
like the
were good.
first drive. Other than
Ravens
like the
defense.
first two
I don't
drives.
remember if you the Bengals Seahawks game from week 6. This game
Oh,
almost had the exact same
yeah.
game flow to it, where it's like both offenses came out firing, and then the rest of the game, it's like they couldn't even make it past the 50-yard line.
Yeah, yeah. Shout out to Lamar ending the game by throwing the triple coverage.
I'm gonna
Hmm.
It's like
say the Ravens
Jesus,
laid
dude.
multiple eggs on offense
Hmm.
down the stretch.
Oh yeah.
Zay Flowers losing the ball at the 1 yard line.
Oh
Hmm.
man.
Lamar
And
with
then
the
but
pick,
before that he had a
And the
taunting penalty.
taunting. Oh, and
the
people
taunting. Yep.
saying like people, and I will disagree with my boy Joe Burrow on this one. You can't push a guy down, stand over him, and spin the ball in his face and not expect to get called for taunting. Like, I'm sorry. That's like 3 strikes. Any one of those could have been called. So, sorry, Joe. I'm gonna have to
Yeah,
disagree with you on that one.
in hindsight, like that had such a huge impact though. I just hate it having that much impact.
Hmm. I didn't think it would matter because I thought they were gonna end up scoring a touchdown in that drive anyways. And
Uh, uh,
but as for Kansas City, Dynasty. I don't know. Even when they're down, they're not out.
Mahomes has made the championship every year.
Yeah, literally since
He's
he took over the
impossible to
starting
beat.
job.
He's you need better quarterback play than how Lamar played to be able to beat. You can have a really good defense, but you need to have better quarterback play than
Hmm.
how Lamar played to beat Mahomes. Because who was able
Spagnuolo,
to beat him?
man, what he's done to that defense is incredible, honestly.
The defense carried him this year.
Oh yeah.
I'm surprised he's not been in more talks for a head coaching job.
You know
Wasn't
why? It's
Spags the
because
head coach for the
he
Rams
was, and he
way
was
back in
horrible.
the
He has like an
I know
11-39 career record as
he
a
was
head
a really
coach.
bad head coach, but he's one of those guys. He's like Gus
Yeah.
Bradley and Dan Quinn, the
I was gonna say
DCs.
he was on those shitty St. Louis teams back in the day.
Hmm.
He was pre Jeff Fisher, St. Louis.
Yep.
Yep,
He was
he
the one
was.
here there before him. Yep. So,
Very
oh
decent
man.
though.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, credit to Brett
It's
Veach
just
too. I mean, that Chiefs defense, like on all 3 levels, it's freaking talented. Like
they've
they've
been
just got
drafting really
dudes.
well. They've been
Hmm.
drafting well, taking chances. That's what you can
Yep.
do when you have Mahomes.
Yeah.
Um, I really do think Tyler Lockett will be a Kansas City Chief next year.
Hmm.
I think he's going to get cut and he's going to go home and ring chase because
I could see
he
that.
doesn't have he's never even been to a Super Bowl,
I could see that. Um,
and that he'd be
I'm,
a good target for him.
and
Uh,
I'll just say this right up front. You know who's not going to be a Kansas City Chief next year, so they can stop talking about it. T. Higgins will not be a Kansas City Chief. Get over yourselves. It's not going to happen. They're going to franchise tag him. It's it. If you want him, you can get him
Mahomes
next
just
offseason.
He's impossible to stop, it feels like, man. Just his like
Which is funny because it
his
wasn't even him; it was
back-breaking
his defense.
scrambles. His
That's
back-breaking
true.
scrambles, man.
Or even
Just
like that
it's
third
just
down where it's
enough.
just like, he kind of fades right. He finds Marquez Valdez-Scantling wide open
It's
down the
like,
field. And
jeez. He's
You know what's kind of
impossible to
funny
stop,
though?
it feels like. It's there's no way there's no re it just looking back, it's like, yeah, no fucking surprise that it was the worst kept secret that every GM loved him and was jockeying to trade up for him back in 17.
Mhm.
Guys, you want to know what's kind of hilarious though? Is MVS the last few playoff games has actually been clutch. He was
Oh
one of the
yeah.
more anti-clutch receivers during the regular season. Now
Oh
all of
yeah.
a sudden, he's making game-clinching catches.
Hmm.
And Kelsey's finally looking back too.
Yeah, it took him 20 games into the season, but Travis Kelce's finally playing like Travis Kelce again.
Hmm. I
Yeah,
So
saw a
man.
funny comedy bit today. It
yeah.
was like,
Oh yeah.
you saw this one too?
Yeah, I did.
It was on the Seahawks subreddit. It was like the most annoying thing about the whole Taylor Swift getting into football is like, he doesn't give a fuck about like all the stuff other people do. It's just that the first year that she cared, her team's in the Super Bowl. It's like, come on, you don't deserve that.
She suffered. Yeah, I was like, I've been rooting for this same dog. Or I think
It was a Seahawks fan, yeah.
it was a Seahawks fan. There, I saw another one that was with like a Raiders fan or something. Like I've been rooting for this dog shit team for 33 years. Taylor Swift is into it for
Oh,
one season, gets to watch her team go to Super Bowl.
he wasn't even there for John Madden.
He
Ouch.
was not. He is not.
He got the John Gruden Super Bowl though.
Yeah, but no, but John Gruden never won a Super Bowl with the
Wait,
Raiders.
no, he
He won it with the
lost. Yeah.
Bucks.
Yeah, he
I
lost
Bucks
against
guess John
John
lost that
Gruden, and the
Gruden.
one.
dude got
Oh shit.
he
Yeah.
got tuck rule.
He got
He got
tuck
the
ruled
tuck rule.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Old Rich Gannon.
And the Raiders haven't won a playoff game since 2003. So,
Oh man.
yikes.
Yeah, even the Lions are better than that.
Yeah. Even the Bengals are better than that. Times five. And one of those was against the Raiders.
Not the Dolphins though. They're
Not the
worse.
Dolphins. Yeah, the Dolphins. The Dolphins, new. I know we talked about this when the Lions won it, but congratulations to Miami Dolphins for having the longest playoff win drought in the NFL at 23 years. Or no,
That
sorry,
is.
24 years
Has it been
because
since
it's
like Shula
2024.
retired? It feels like.
I don't think quite that long, but it's pretty similar. I think you know who was the quarterback for that Dolphins team that won a playoff game was Mark Brunell.
Wow. He's come up a
Hey,
couple times on this pod.
There you go. There
wasn't
you
Mark
go.
Brunell? He was a pretty good QB with the Jags at one point
Yeah.
too.
He
Yeah,
was.
he
Tom
was
Coughlin.
he was the it was his later years. Mark Brunell's later years was when he became a great Miami Dolphins legend, whether they like it or not.
Just like Eric
Um,
Kramer for the Lions at one point.
yeah. Well, okay, boys. What do we want to do first? We want to cover the head coach hirings because I know Rob wants to talk about that. Yeah, I'm seeing him nod. Or we can do Super Bowl, but I said Rob nod, so we'll do head coach hirings
One
first.
last
So,
funny thing about Shula though is
yeah.
Chris Shula was in the running for before he got in the running for the Rams DC. He was in the running for the Huskies DC.
Really, that's fun.
So it
That's
would have
fun.
been a nepo baby anyways.
No, it was we were just looking for nepo babies of
Well,
all-time
no.
great
I remember
coaches.
when I did get an all-time troll. It would have been an all-time troll if it came true. But I got tipped off that Chuck Pagano was looking like he was like really considering becoming DC for the Huskies. So I texted Beau. I said, "Heard that Chuck's going to be DC, just Chuck," and he got very sad. Then it turned out not to be true. We
I
got
wonder what Chuck
little
Morrell's
Stevie
doing
boy.
because he didn't get pulled over to Bama. Willie Mingo
He's
saw it
gonna
got pulled
go there.
over.
Yeah,
He is
well, yeah,
okay.
that's well, you know, it's just he still was under contract,
Right,
and
right.
was
Makes
waiting to see
sense.
maybe if he gets the job, but he's just gonna be an analyst,
Yeah, should be a
probably.
big analyst for Bama. God, he
Big
couldn't
fat
analyze my
demotion
freaking
for him.
butthole. That's a big demotion. Um, let's talk NFL hiring though. Speaking of coaches,
Has
I
there
think
been
we should
anything
probably
that we didn't cover other than the final two? I don't think so. I
no, we
don't think
talked
so.
about Raheem. Yeah. So the big one obviously is Dan Quinn going to the Commanders. It's the
Go
one we
up
want
cue
to talk
ball.
about. Cue ball going to a different Washington team. The classic retread defensive coach. They went from Ron Rivera to
I
Dan Quinn.
know.
And
Ooh.
you know what's kind of funny about this hire too is have you guys heard about some of the Commanders' press about Ben Johnson recently?
I
Oh
read the full
yeah.
article on the
They're not football
Athletic.
people.
That they're not
Yeah,
football.
like
I did.
apparently, yeah, they're like they have like this full smear campaign now against Ben Johnson, even after they hired Dan Quinn, and it's so
Mhm.
blatantly obvious that they did not want to hire Dan Quinn.
Yeah, I'd
So
feel
these
bad if I
guys,
was Dan Quinn, man.
Did you see
so
the
this
picture of him
this
looking
this
sad at
team
the
gets
airport? You guys see
this
I
that
didn't
this
picture?
see
team,
that actually, although I need to pull that up.
It's a very funny picture.
bro, this
Let me
team
pull
gets
this up.
new owners and they're still just as dysfunctional as ever, man.
That's
Mhm.
it's like you hear the old trope, Native American burial ground. That's what happens when they had a racist logo for years and years and years. They're
Am I
getting
right?
they're getting cursed.
The commies, man.
Let me find
Imagine
this
being the
picture.
only team in the NFC to not make the championship game more recently than the Cowboys.
It's sad.
It's
It's
pretty
sad.
pathetic.
But I think part of it was I actually do think that Ben Johnson did throw the first stone on this one though, because he called the commies ownership non-football people.
I don't know how true that is though.
Well,
Supposedly.
he said that because the ownership was what's the word for it? They're
Basketball people, yeah.
basketball people. Did you find the picture of Beau?
I didn't. I'm still looking for it.
Oh, it's
What
such a
I don't
good picture.
What
understand
should I
though is
search? Just Dan Quinn Airport?
Yeah, just look up Dan Quinn Airport.
what I don't get though is why like if they're calling out Ben Johnson or whatever for saying that they're basketball guys, then why would they still fly out to Detroit to
That was
give
after.
Ben
It was
Johnson
after.
was after that?
Yeah.
But I thought but didn't he say that like during their first interview or like was he thinking
No,
that?
it was after.
Okay. I mean, I think you might be right, but I feel like the timeline in general for all those events, I don't really trust the Commanders owners right now. So I
Yeah,
feel like
it's a big
everything's
mess
still
on both
fuzzy.
sides. Just a lot of media stuff, image stuff. But the whole thing about Johnson that I've heard was he was asking for a really, really big number. So like
Hmm.
there's merit to that stuff. Who also got a big number though is that Seahawks outbid the commies. Jody Allen actually swooped in and paid up for Mike McDonald,
There you
which
go.
is a good segue right there.
Surprise. But yeah, let's get into the more.
Were you able to find that picture, or
I
we can
still
move
haven't
on?
found it. Oh, still haven't
Oh,
found it. We'll find it later. We'll find it later.
it's just such a
Um.
funny picture. But it might be old, but I saw it anyways. But
Mhm.
it was unmistakably Dan Quinn.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, this is the third huge piece of Seahawks news that I slept through in a row. I slept through the Russ trade. I slept through
Pete Carroll
the
firing.
Pete Carroll firing. That was in New Orleans, I think. So, uh,
Makes sense.
had a fun night the night before, and then I slept through the Mike McDonald news breaking because I was really sick that day. But that was really exciting. After one, I do think he is I think there are separate prizes of this hiring class depending on what you wanted. If you wanted that experienced older guy, the prize was Harbaugh. And if you wanted the bright young mind, the prize was Mike McDonald, especially when
Mhm.
Ben Johnson was like, no, I'm not gonna, my number one preference was always Ben Johnson. But I am very happy with Mike McDonald. I think the guy who gave Cock Turdy his worst game as a pro, who just had him seeing fits,
Mhm.
absolutely go hire him. Bright young mind on defense. It's very exciting. Very
Mhm.
handsome guy, very, very well spoken. The
Yeah. Now the
biggest,
youngest head coach in the NFL went
yeah,
from the
we
oldest to the
oldest to
youngest. Literally
youngest.
divided in half his age, 72 to
Crazy.
36.
It's weird. It's gonna be weird seeing anyone else out there. It is gonna be weird. 14 years of Pete Carroll, man, and they're over. Um, the biggest thing for McDonald's is always going to be his higher network and his experience. And I
Hmm.
think getting Leslie Frazier in there is huge. I think that was a really big hire. I think
Hmm.
Leslie Frazier is very respected in the NFL, a lot more than maybe some fans think. He's going to be just huge for the NFL experience. I was
Hmm.
bummed that we did not retain Larry Izzo and we got Jay Harbaugh to be special teams coach. I was like, what the hell is what in the world of nepotism is going on in Seattle right now?
Hmm.
Mike McDonald was like he said, I'm calling plays, so I think he's going to bring someone young to be DC. Ravens elevated Orr, and they're going to be able to keep the other guy whose name I forget. So I think they're going to bring in some younger guy to that he can
Hmm.
mentor. So he says, I'll give up play calling when the person's ready to call plays.
Hmm. Have
Which
there
is
been any
like
names tied to it yet?
they've been tight-lipped on both sides. It's been hard to
Hmm.
find any rumors. For OC, I've been liking the direction that they initially started in. Talking to Grubb, talking to Engstrand. Those are my top two choices. After they did ask to interview Kafka, but he got rejected.
Hmm.
Um, who else did
Breaking news tonight, they're talking to Chip Kelly.
they are talking to Chip Kelly, pass. Um, who else though? Who was the Rooney Rule guy?
Um, couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
I think there
I've
was a
been as
Rooney
tied
Rule
into it as
guy.
you have.
Let me look it up. But I you know I want Grubber Engstrand. Those are who I really want. Grubb is the added benefit of screwing over DeBoer.
That is true. And that's why I'm rooting for that to be the outcome.
Um, and then I hope he brings Shepard with him
That'd be sweet. That would be sweet if he did.
because I know Shepard wants to stay here in Seattle because he's got family here and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Um, what else is going on here? Oh yeah. Jamal is definitely going to be, I'm happy that we don't have dumb loyalty to some bad players
Hmm.
anymore. I think Quandre is going to stick around, um, just because I think we might need him. I think Jamal is going to be gone. I think they're going to cut Lockett. He's been very non-committal on Geno and mentioned Locke, who's a free agent right now. Um, I'd like to keep. Um, I think the priority is absolutely keeping Leonard Williams. I think that's a huge
Hmm.
priority. And I'd like to give Draymond Jones another year. See if he can. I think he's going to be better under this scheme.
Hmm.
It's exciting. It's really exciting. I think a McDonald defense with a grub offense for a scheme nerd like me is going to be really fun to watch.
Yeah, combine the UW offense and the Washington defense. Or no, so the UW
Michigan
offense and the
defense,
Michigan
yeah.
defense. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm excited. They run a fun defense. It's definitely that old Martindale Rex Ryan, Chuck Pagano, blitz
Hmm.
heavy defense taking the next step and evolving, not being as crazy blitz heavy, but really genius pressuring. It's a lot of fun. I like it a
Hmm.
lot. I have any thoughts from playing the Ravens defense quite often over the last couple of
They're
years?
they're freaking good, man. I won't lie. A big part of that's their personnel, obviously. I mean, Kyle Hamilton, Roquan Smith. I mean, it's hard to replicate those guys. I will say though, there are certain positions where I think the Seahawks are actually a better personnel. Edge rusher, for
Hmm.
one. Who knows? May can get Clowney to come back to Seattle. Corners, definitely I'd give the edge to the Seahawks. Outside of Marlon Humphrey, the Ravens corners ain't anything special. Safeties, linebackers, you give the edge to the
Yeah.
Ravens for sure. Interior D line definitely give the edge to the. Although even I don't know, can tell you because
No,
Seahawks have
no,
definitely
no.
invested in the interior, so it's tough. But
You know who
also, I don't
I'm
know, Patrick Queen, maybe. I mean, if he comes along with McDonald to
we
Seattle,
don't have the
then
money for it.
uh,
I'd go for it. Uh I'd just rather go young there. You know
that's
who
fair.
I am really excited to see in this new defense?
Who's
Spoon. He's gonna be.
mm,
I think you put him in kind of a modified Kyle Hamilton role,
just
and I think that's
all over
gonna
the secondary. Just do
just
whatever you want.
let him fly around. I think that's gonna be
Let
fun.
Spoon cook.
He was
Let
the
Spoon
only.
stir.
Let's. That's awesome. Yes. Let's. Here we go. Here we go. I don't know if you
Ding.
heard it, but
I
let's
didn't hear. That's
spoon
okay.
stir. That's awesome. Uh
I better see you tweet that out as soon as we hop off the pod.
oh yeah,
Hashtag
I'm
let Spoon
stealing it. I'm
stir.
stealing it. He was the only exciting part of the defense last year.
Mhm.
He's just so fun to watch. I wasn't super hyped on the pick at the time, but like He's just so fun to watch, so physical, plays so hard at a different speed. It feels like he's just awesome.
Hmm. Yeah, he's a baller, and I like that pick when it came in. Someone didn't. I've got the video proof, but
I do too. Yeah, I didn't like that pick. I think
um,
I think who did I want? I wanted the
you
quarterbacks
wanted
here.
Will Levis.
Yeah, well, if I had more info, I would have been able to make the correct choice on that one.
If
Oh, he looked
with the
fun.
with the
Uh,
benefit of hindsight,
yeah, I mean,
Will Levis was fine.
I wanted one
Will
of the
Levis was fine.
quarterbacks, but it seemed that his stock was much lower than we expected.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think I wanted one of the quarterbacks. I don't know who I wanted, if not the quarterbacks, though. Yeah, because I wanted the quarterback of Will Anderson in the
you definitely didn't
worst
want
spot.
Jalen Carter, that's for sure.
No, I was anti-Carter. I didn't like Tyree. I didn't like
Hmm.
him.
Yeah.
Pull up the first round, top of the first round. Let's see who I would have
Okay.
picked. I was full on
Um.
the AR train.
Like, there we go. 2023 NFL
Oh,
draft.
we were so drunk for this one too. We got really drunk at this one.
Let's see. Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, Will Anderson, Anthony Richardson, Devin Witherspoon, Paris Johnson,
Shoot,
Tyree.
yeah. I think like I
You
don't
were
know who I
big
would have
on.
wanted. I think I would have said trade down Will McDonald.
You probably would have been traded down Will McDonald because you loved Will
I did
McDonald.
love him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Gonzo wouldn't have
perfect.
been a bad pick either, actually. It's funny they both
He
fell pretty
fell,
far.
yeah, he fell hard.
Yeah. And he was a baller. He was a baller before he got hurt in New England.
He was.
So that one looks like it's gonna be good. Jordan Mayo
We
will have
were
fun with
very,
him.
were you at that draft party, Danny?
I don't think I was, no.
You got to come to this year's one at the Yard House, but
Yeah. I'm not gonna
I
be
got
there.
fly up.
Fly up just for the draft. I wish, man. I wish. Fuck, that
Hey,
sucks.
maybe
Do
find a good
it.
deal. Find a good deal.
Just do it.
Do it. What if I
I
live
got
stream in? What if you guys bring your laptop this
no, that's
time?
not the fun. That's not the
That's
fun.
true. That's
I was
true.
gonna say, like, you got pretty good price deals for Phoenix to Seattle flights.
I actually have unlimited, or not unlimited, but I've got a ridiculous amount of Southwest points. So maybe I'll think
You
about
should
it.
consider, hey, you can stay with me. You should
Okay,
consider.
okay. Now that I got that on the table, I could save on the flight and the. Okay, maybe. Okay, I'll think about it. I'll think about it.
Hey, Yard House draft party was so fun last year.
It was the
We
past
got
couple years. It's been fun. Last year we
it's
stayed the whole time though. The year before we left after like pick 20.
yeah, I forget why we had to leave. Last year the link shut down.
That's
When
true. That's right.
it was fun. It was still fun. But shoot. Um I'm excited to see Spoon. Uh he he's gonna eat. He's gonna eat. He's gonna stir.
Yes,
I
turn.
think
Let's
they're def
Spinster.
I've told you my draft what I think is gonna happen. You know, I think they're gonna try to get one of the Texas D linemen. I really
Hmm.
do. Because Sweat can fit the what's his name? Uh I forget their big nose tackle, but
Oh,
he's got a weird name. He's very unsung.
for Baltimore,
Yeah, for Baltimore.
we got Pierce there. I
I
think
think it's Pierce. Um, but
definitely not Matt BK.
no. But like they don't like use it like as like a traditional nose tackle anymore. No one does really,
Hmm.
you know, especially that. But you know, they have that role, and then Byron Murphy does fit the Matt Buke
Hmm.
position. But
Yeah,
I'm excited to see what he does with the team. You know, some new ideas. That's what I've been saying a lot. You know, we need someone with new ideas. McVay did carve them up a little bit. So, you know, that's what worries me just a little bit. But
hmm. Yeah. No, those McVay. I mean, honestly, like and I'll just 2022. The Bengals defense going against the Ravens, like they couldn't do anything really. I mean, you saw that in the playoff game, you saw that in week 5, and week 18 didn't really count because Ravens weren't really playing it. The Bengals and Ravens were both resting starters. But week 5 and that playoff game, even though Bengals obviously won the playoff game, it was like that Ravens defense was tough to get anything going against, man. This year, actually, funny enough, with Burrow hurt, they started to open it up a little bit. They actually
mm,
played better this year with Burrow hurt against the Ravens defense in week 2. And then obviously, he pops his wrist in the week
yeah.
12. And at that point, it's like, okay, season lost. But I mean, they were winning that game when Burrow got
They
hurt.
were, they were.
Forget. And the
Um,
offense was getting yardage. So I
yeah, I
think the
think John
McVay
Schneider.
offense, it's got a way of working against the Shanahan offense. The McVay offense, though, might be a little bit of a it might be a little different. Might be a
We'll
little
see.
successful.
He
But
gets to play
he's
him
gonna
twice.
adapt. He's
He
gonna
will. He's
he's
got
gonna he,
answers. He
mm,
gets it. I know John Schneider said really took notice when they after they whooped us in
mm.
like week whatever.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I think because I saw that there was two times in like that I've had a game where I've just thought we can never let that happen again. And one time was after the game where they got whooped by the Ravens and you said like we gotta go get that guy. And the other one was like back in like 2011 or something. I saw some quote like that,
Gosh,
but
that's an old one. Yeah, I'll have to
yeah,
think about that. That might have been the Packers.
yeah. Well,
Um,
I'll have to think about it. But anyways, point being,
and honestly
actually
though, no, go ahead.
it might have been, I want to say it was like the Steelers or something,
hmm I
where they
think
were
I think
just,
I think that might be right. I
yeah,
think the Steelers. I think it was at Pittsburgh.
it would have been at Pittsburgh because Cincinnati was at Seattle that year
Yeah.
and they flip it. So yeah, it would have been at Pittsburgh. Yeah.
Um,
Um,
I honestly do think that it's with. I think like the Ravens don't have the best pieces in the on defense in the league, but they had an amazing defense.
mhm.
I think McDonald can do a lot with what he's given. I think he's good at maximizing. Yeah.
Oh, 1000%.
Like
That's what you're going to get out of
I
him.
don't think there's an as many pieces as the Niners defense have.
Hmm. Yeah. Although funny enough, I think they both have the same weakness and that's the
Corner.
cornerbacks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But
Is
that front
cornerback not
seven
important for
for
having a good defense anymore? What?
pressure.
Pressure,
I'm
pressure,
excited to
pressure.
see
That's
some
right.
really fun pressures.
Hmm.
And for play caller, Waldron, Waldron's a really good play designer, but you hear this from time to time if you can pick up on it. It's that uh, you know, play calling is something that you have or you don't.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, it's not something that can really be learned. You just able to find the rhythm, able to find solutions. It's something that you have or you don't. I don't think
Hmm.
Waldron ever had it. I think we just could never find that rhythm. Uh, but he designed good plays, but just didn't put them together very well.
Hmm.
Grubb can definitely he knows how to call plays. I think he
Hmm.
has it. I'd like to see Grubb. Engstrand, first time play caller, but great interviews. Supposedly is the one who's actually behind the offensive success of the Lions, Daniel. So some people are saying, who knows?
I guess we'll see. I guess their running game works pretty well too, and he
Man,
doesn't
some of
have a
y'all are
FUD
real
Matt.
salty about Ben Johnson lately. You know what? I kind of like this. I kind of like the saltiness.
Oh no,
I
I
think
was just
All
messing with
right,
you.
chip
Someone
on the
did say
shoulder.
it. I don't know how much they believe it. But he's Ben Johnson's not the most charismatic guy in like the press conference.
Hmm. Yeah, I saw one
Engstrand
person
is.
say like that he's kind of like introverted, and that
It's
one of
the
the
same with
reasons he decided to
Kafka.
go back to Detroit was like he thinks he'd be better in the OC role than
It's
as a
the
head
same as
coach,
Kafka.
which is exactly what Daniel said.
They're both, a lot more not the most charismatic guy on
Mm.
the podium.
Yeah, that's true. I did mention something about that. So why didn't
Yeah,
you
you
guys
said
hire
it.
Aaron Glenn then, Rob? Take him from us. Why'd you have to hire another
I
defense?
think I'm pretty happy with Mike McDonald.
Come on, man.
Hey, you never know.
You don't see a
Maybe
head coach calling defensive plays too often though. I can't think who does that.
Belichick did it for a while in New England.
Mm,
Um, let's see. I
Brandon
feel like
Staley. Didn't he call
Brandon
defense?
Staley. Yeah, yeah, that's a good one. You don't see a lot of defensive head coaches anymore, is one
no.
thing, so it kind of
Well,
skews it a
you're
bit.
seeing more this year though. Raheem
Oh, definitely,
Morris,
definitely. Yeah, it was
Roseman,
mostly defensive coaches.
because the bones are
Defense,
picked
defense,
dry.
defense, defense.
There's not much more of a bench of offensive head coaches right now.
Actually, what is Harbaugh's background?
I'd say Harbaugh's offense
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
there's
Okay,
a
there's
so you
one
got
quarterback.
quarterback, right?
Canales, you got Harbaugh, and you got Callahan are the only offensive guys
Yeah.
out of eight.
And
So,
honestly, like I was talking about this with Beau, I just texted him it's like, when you just look at this from like a macro level, it's like it's a pretty weak hiring class.
hmm.
Maybe we'll
Well, I
change
mean,
your
it doesn't
mind.
help that Belichick and Vrabel didn't get
Yeah.
jobs.
Vrabel too big.
He's too big. He's too big.
Oh yeah, I heard about that too. I was like,
That was funny.
why?
I think Dan Quinn's gonna look like a better hire down the road than people are
Hmm.
acting now. I think he's a good coach. Hiring Cliff Kingsbury was not a good choice though. Uh,
Hmm.
I think he hired him to get Caleb to not want to go to Chicago.
Hmm.
I really do think that's the reason. Whoa, 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 whoa.
I don't
Super
worry.
Bowl.
No,
You know,
no.
I
I will
think
I
I
was
will
just
say to
naming
your Dan
the.
Quinn point, Rob, I think Dan Quinn's a good coach, but I think he's in a franchise that's going to set him up to fail, kind of like what Rivera was.
mm,
Mhm.
well, he's gonna get his quarterback this year.
Yeah,
That
maybe.
is true. That is true. I mean, honestly, Rivera never got that in
No,
Washington.
no. He had a lot of bad quarterbacks.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Carson Wentz,
yeah. Wentz, Howell,
Hey,
Alex
Howell was pretty
Smith,
good for 2
Heineke.
weeks, man.
Heineke. Yeah, that's true. Howell had flashes, but not the guy. Not the guy.
Where's Ron Rivera gonna end up? He's gonna retire.
I think he's interviewing for the Cowboys DC job. So it's funny him and him and Dan Quinn could just end up trading places.
Wow.
Love to see
Well,
it.
funny, who else was interviewing for the Cowboys DC job is Mike Zimmer. So they're really just going to the well
Oh
of old
wow.
guys.
So Jerry Jones is just going to hire a big name, and they're going to fail again because it's the Cowboys.
I like Mike Zimmer as a DC.
He's a good
He's
DC, but like, dude, the Cowboys, bro, it's like, why are
hmm
there even Cowboys fans? It's you know what's going to happen every year. There's no
hmm
hope,
hmm
only false hope.
only false up. That's right. Well, let's get right into the Super Bowl picks here. It's only one game, so this one will be pretty fast. Unfortunately, the 49ers are going to Las Vegas, as are Kansas City Chiefs.
Boring matchup.
Fine, we've seen this
No one wanted
before.
to see
I
this
I I
matchup.
I hate that there's a repeat matchup, and don't get me wrong, I'm glad the Ravens aren't in it, but I hate that there's a repeat Super Bowl matchup from like 4 years ago.
No one wants to see this one. No one wants
It's a
this.
boring uniform matchup too, because it's like just red.
Who's wearing home?
The Chiefs are wearing home.
Niners are cursed.
Not sure cursed. Not sure cursed. So, I guess we'll spin the wheel here.
Wheel,
Niners are
wheel,
two
wheel,
point
wheel.
favorites, by the way. I guess I'm going first. So I guess as far as and I'll go first here, but as far as the season picks go, those have both been finalized. I won the season series with Rob.
Ooh.
Daniel won the playoff series with all of us. So props to him. We should have involved him much earlier. If you got involved with the pod in week one, we would have had it all three of us the whole way through. But that's what next year's for.
Next season.
So I guess I'm going first here. The Chiefs and the Niners. Chiefs are 2-point dogs. You know, it pains, trust me, it pains me to say this, but I will be picking the Chiefs in this game just because Patrick Mahomes with points in a playoff game, it's tough to bet against that, man. It's really tough to bet against that. I really hope I'm wrong with this, but maybe San Francisco will win on a last second field goal and they win by one, but I'm gonna go with Kansas City. And
Next season,
now,
we have to keep a tab of what our record is
oh
rather
yeah,
than
we'll
just
go
who's
game by
above.
game so that we've got the whole
So we
field. And
see if we're like above 500 or not, you know?
yep, exactly. And Rob, you're picking next in the
Oh.
Super Bowl here.
So I've
So
said all postseason that I like the Chiefs with points. Last week I picked against it solely because of Beau picking the Chiefs. Well, this time I'm going to stay true to what I believe in because I think the Chiefs with points, Patrick Mahomes with points is always a very uh is something I will never not do.
mhm, there you go. And last but not least, the last game pick, I should say, of the 2024 season. Go ahead and take away, Mr. Daniel.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs are winning this game. I think Mahomes is inevitable.
He is Thanos.
Mhm.
You see that
So
picture of him in the locker room looking like Mac Jones?
I did see that the beer gut.
Yeah, it's like, oh guys, you had to do that. I can't do it. Get Kermit. He's like, oh
Hey, get
guys, you had
Barry.
to do that to me.
Why can't you
Why
catch
yeah.
the ball this time, Kadarius?
That's a good one.
That
That's
wasn't
a
bad.
that's
That wasn't
actually pretty
bad.
good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
You're gonna have to do the Mahomes impression forever now.
Yeah, you're forever the Mahomes impression guy. But there you go. So NFL, like I said, that one would be pretty fast. The NFL season will be over. Honestly, what a
And you
good
know what
season
we
to
got
finally be
next?
over.
We got UFL, baby.
UFL. But the
No
Seattle
reason to
Dragons aren't
follow it.
part of it
No
anymore.
reason to follow it without the Sea Dragons. Ugh.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But um,
You
so
didn't like this.
now
You didn't like this season. I didn't either. Low scoring.
low scoring, Burrow, so many injuries. I was gonna say Burrow's hurt. Honestly, every team was freaking crippled this year. I was ready. I'm ready for this season to be over. It's appropriate this season ends in the least attractive Super Bowl
You
matchup
know what's
possible.
gonna? I think there will be a time where the defense is forced to play with 10 players instead of 11.
Yeah. Yeah. The only good thing about this season was the brief glimmer of hope where I thought the Detroit Lions might actually win the Super Bowl
Hmm.
after the first half of the NFC
Oh
Championship
Yeah,
game.
man.
right.
That
Yeah.
was the best part of this entire
Oh,
season.
it
I'm not even
was.
gonna lie.
And it just crashed and burned.
Yeah. Well, getting into something that might be a little harder and a little bit more interesting because I got something. Obviously, NFL honors is coming up
Wow, look at all these
this
points.
Thursday. So, what I thought we could do is
This
we're
is
gonna
fun.
go through here. We're gonna draft our picks. So we're not all gonna have the same because we're not
What?
all gonna pick Lamar for MVP. But don't worry, there's a scoring system to this, as you can see here. It's gonna be snake style too. So you see, I've not put the names at the top yet because we're doing snake style here. Say, for example, you pick Lamar Jackson. Whoever picks first picks Lamar Jackson to win MVP. And he does end up winning MVP. That gets 10 points. But obviously, that means the first, what, 7 picks would be, the probably the favorites, right? So keep it interesting. We're also gonna have second
Uh,
place. If you get the guy who comes in second place in voting, you'll still get 5 points.
that's fun.
And third place, you get 2 points. But if there's a unanimous, you're screwed.
Hmm.
So there you go. So, and I've not picked the order yet. We're gonna have spin the wheel, pick the order for us. And we're gonna see how this works. This is just a little experiment we got going. Because I didn't want to do award picks and just have us all pick the same guy. I want to make
No,
this a
that's
little
fun.
interesting. So here we go. The award picks, the first pick, we'll just do the order first. The first pick will be going to
Oh,
Rob.
woohoo.
Rob gets the first dibs. Second pick, and we're going to do snake style here. Second pick will go to Daniel. So
Wow.
there you go. And then spin the wheel. Cool. So Rob, Daniel, me. And you can pick any of these awards. You don't have to start with MVP.
Ooh.
You can be like, hey, I think DeMar Hamlin's a lock for AP Comeback Player of the Year. You can pick him first and you're set. So we'll go with Rob first.
Oh,
And here you can see, can you see all the
I'm gonna
nominees? There should be
go.
5.
I'm gonna go Lamar for MVP.
I like
I'll be
that. I like
basic.
that.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. It's all right. I mean, at the top, this is your first pick. That should be the one you feel most confident in. So there you go. Daniel, go ahead.
And I can pick any one, right?
You can pick any award and any
Okay.
person within the award category.
Let's see what I want to do here. Okay, for offensive rookie of the year, because I know the league is going to stiff us. They're going to stiff us so hard, and they're going to give that award to Puka.
Interesting. Okay. I like it. I like it. No, it's good. I'm actually gonna go in a different direction though. Same award.
Oh,
I'm
I
picking
was gonna
Stroud.
snipe it too. Yeah. Yeah. That was a
Oh, I
blunder,
didn't even see
Daniel.
CJ Stroud's name. No, crap! I didn't see his name there. God damn it!
Oh my
You know
God.
what? At least Puka will probably get some votes.
Yeah, he'll probably get second,
It'll
so
be
you'll be fine.
second.
Damn it. No. I would have taken CJ Stroud.
All right, so
Shit.
I'm up with the offensive player of the year as well. Or no, I'm up with just second. I'm up again. There's some really good options here.
Damn it.
Oh man. I actually don't feel like super certain about anything left here. Actually, you know what? Give me Will Anderson for defensive rookie of the year.
Two Texans winning it. All
Yep.
right.
Daniel, you're back up. Can you redeem yourself?
God.
It was the same as last year though, with Jets winning it.
Yep, it's true.
Let's fucking see CJ. I'm so
I
sad.
can't believe you
No.
messed that one up,
I
Daniel.
know,
Here's what I'll
dude.
say. Here's what I'll say. The Puka Nakua slot is very bright. It's very inviting.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna do offensive player of the year. I'll take Christian McCaffrey.
That's one I was thinking about, so I respect it. I respect it.
Is it my
Rob,
turn?
yep, you got two in a row here.
Oh, two in a row. I'm gonna go DeMar for a comeback player.
Hmm.
And let's see here. What else we got here? Defensive player of the year. I have no clue who the favorites are, to be honest.
Hmm.
Um, our coach of the year. Yeah, no, I really haven't been following favorites. It's just, yeah, been my vibe. I'm gonna go Miles Garrett for defensive player of the year. This is fun. This was a good idea.
Deron Bland's in the running for defensive player of the year.
Hmm.
Dude, he had a crazy year.
You did from an
Yeah.
interception standpoint.
It's kind of funny he did have a crazy year, and I'm still surprised he's up there. I didn't think it was that great, but anyway.
He broke the records for pick sixes, dog.
Yeah, but he also got his
He's
lunch
like
money
Trayvon
taken by
Diggs
DK
2.0.
Metcalf.
He did. He did. He is Trayvon Diggs. They coached that well.
Mm, damn, this is kind of tough now. Yeah, I'm kind of stumped. Um, Mahomes isn't in the MVP running.
He's not, no.
You can write him in. You can do a write in.
Right in. I mean, these are the finalists, so you won't get it, but
Oh,
Yeah,
there's finalists.
yeah, these are the finalists the NFL
yeah.
announced.
I was gonna say I'll write in Beau Gleason, but I don't want to.
Write it in.
Write
No,
it in.
don't write it in. Can't fuck up another pick. I mean, honestly, I'm just gonna get MVP out of the way. Because honestly, I could see. I think MVP is honestly also going to go to Lamar, or if not
Mhm.
Lamar, it's going to be McCaffrey. But I already picked McCaffrey.
You could
Offensive
pick him
player
for
of the year.
both.
You can pick him for
There's nothing
both.
wrong.
Did I pick
Yeah.
him for both? Really?
Yeah.
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 I don't know if they're okay. Actually, I don't know if they're going to give it to a running back though. That's the thing.
If there was ever a year, this would be the year.
That's true. You know what? Give me McCaffrey for MVP only because I don't want to pick Dak
That's fair. That's a good reason.
or Brock Purdy.
It's a good reason. So I can get behind that. All right, I get two picks in a row here. Oh man, I feel good about those rookies, man, but I'm nervous now. I'm really not sure where to go here. All those coaches. Do I do three Texans and go with D'Amico?
Do it.
I'm tempted. I'm really tempted, but I also feel like Stefanski's probably the favorite. Campbell, though. Oh man, they're
Really?
all good options. Yeah.
Stefanski's the favorite over
I think I
D'Amico?
saw Stefanski's the favorite.
Why?
Um, I don't know, man. Because technically it's a regular season only award.
I just still the
Yeah.
Texans sucked last year.
That's true.
I think it's because
That's
Stefanski still made the playoffs with four starting quarterbacks.
that's
One of them
true.
was
That's the
Russell
main
Wilson.
reason. That's
Mm,
the main
mm.
reason. You know what? I'm gonna I went with all rookies for my last round, and I'm gonna go with all coaches for this round. I'm gonna go D'Amico Ryans, keep my
Yeah.
Texan theme alive,
And Bobby.
and then no, not Bobby. I'm gonna skip the I'm gonna go with Ben Johnson for
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
yeah. So Daniel, you are back up, my friend.
For assistant coach of the year, I want to take Mike McDonald.
Mm, that's a good one. All right, I'll go Stefanski
Oh
for
wait,
coach
wait.
of the
Oh yeah,
year.
no, you're right. Never mind. You're right. Yeah. Okay, Stefanski, coach of the year. All right.
And let's see here. I'll go Jalen Carter for defensive rookie of the year. I just think he's got noise. I don't think he's any good.
Go. Daniel.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Mike McDonald's a good one.
Yeah.
It's a good poll.
I haven't picked any defensive players yet.
Sam Laporta for AP Offensive Player of the Year.
I wish, man. I wish it's not gonna happen, but I wish either him or
Not
Gibbs.
this year. Not this year.
No, dude. All the lines are gonna get stiffed. Every one of them.
Mhm.
Anyway, whatever. Defensive player
Dude,
of the year, give me Micah Parsons.
I'll know your pain because Seahawks got fucked so bad last year in the awards.
Mhm.
I think Walker should have won it over. I can understand Sauce winning it, even though he was a little overrated,
Mhm.
but Garrett Wilson over Walker was criminal.
Give me TJ Watt for
Ooh.
defensive player of the year. Led the league in sacks again. That'll help his case. And give me Tyreek Hill for
Oh,
offensive player of
I
the
was
year.
eyeing that up. I was eyeing that one up. Who's left for Offensive Player of the Year?
Lamar, CD, and Dak.
Can the MVP win it?
Yeah, they can win both. Technically Daniel's up though, so
Well,
although
he
he
can't.
can't
He
pick an
can't pick
offensive
that.
player of
Neither
the
of you
year,
guys
so
can
you
pick
can
that.
you can be
Yeah.
thinking already.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead, Daniel.
Same with rookie
Yeah, so you have
and
defense.
assistant
So
coach.
yeah, Daniel, you've got defensive rookie of the year, comeback player of the year, and AP coach of the year still available.
You can't take any of my players now. Haha.
Mm, I have to pick a Lion, so I'm gonna take Dan Campbell for Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Robert, you're up.
Oh, I'm up. Oh shoot.
Yeah, yeah, you got two in a row.
Okay, I'm gonna go Lamar for offensive of the year, and I'm gonna go Mr. Bobby Slowick for assistant of the year. Wait, no, Jim. No, it's fine. I already said it. I already said it.
There you go, Daniel.
All right.
Go Huskies, Michigan Tech, by the way.
That's true.
I went to Michigan Tech football camp back in the day.
Give me
Defensive
Baker
rookie,
for comeback
Baker
player
for
of the year.
comeback. I like it, man. I
That's
like
a good
it.
choice. That's a good choice.
So I got to pick my MVP and my comeback. So of these options, Joe Flacco, obvious
There's no way
choice
they don't rig it for DeMar.
for tomorrow. No, so that one's pretty safe
And
bet.
they're gonna have all the trainers up there.
Yeah. Oh, it's gonna be Demar. But I'm gonna go Flacco, and then my MVP. I gotta go Josh Allen just because
Hmm.
I can't
No
pick Dak
Dak.
there. I think Josh Allen could get. He's not gonna win, but I think he could get second place
Do
votes.
you think did Alex Smith win comeback player of the year? I think he did.
He did. He did.
And
There have been
he played
yeah
like a game.
there have been plenty of pity comeback player of the year awards before.
Oh yeah.
So
And
all
like I
right,
mean, comeback player means nothing after last year because I remember people like, why did Jano win comeback player of the year? He came back from being bad.
from sucking. Yeah.
It's like,
Um.
yeah, it kind of did.
That's what happened. So, All right, Daniel. All you have left is picking your defensive rookie of the year from these three guys: Joey Porter, Kobe Turner,
Let him
Devin
stir.
Witherspoon.
Let him
Yep.
stir.
I agree with Rob. Let Spoon stir.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like that was pretty
I think he'll get
obvious of
some. I
those
think he'll
three.
get some points.
Yeah. And then last but not least, Rob,
Ooh.
picking your
Let's
offensive
see.
rookie of the year:
Out of who?
Jameer, Sam Laporta, Bijan.
All right, which one, Daniel? Out of the Lions.
It's not
Okay.
going to be Bijan, so yeah.
Yeah. I want him to choose. I'll let him choose my Lions representative.
I love Jameer Gibbs a lot, but Laporta's a cyborg. You got to give
He's
Laporta.
so good.
Laporta had a record-breaking year, so
He's
I
so
think
good.
Give me the
there you go.
cyborg.
Give me the
Is that his
cyborg.
official nickname?
No, I just call him that because he got injured in the last Vikings game,
I
and then
still can't believe he
he
played.
came back for the Rams game and didn't get re-injured and like scored a touchdown.
Yeah.
Cyborg, man.
There you go. There you go. Well, there's the mock. So this will be probably on Thursday's pod. We'll have the official or results, so we'll be able to have a winner for this. So now, are you guys down to do this tonight? We feeling this tonight? A little mock
I'm cool either way.
draft.
We
Daniel?
got to save some content for next episode.
Okay. Okay. We'll save
Yeah.
it for next episode then.
We
The
need we
mock
need some
draft draft.
content.
That's fair. That's fair. Well,
I've
that'll be
already got a
fun
good
then.
hour and
That'll
a
be
half
something
too.
that'll be something to look forward to. Yeah, that's right. We're at hour 16. Hour 16. So that'll be something to look forward to for the next episode then. It was a fun one. We covered a lot in
Mm-hmm.
this one.
Mm-hmm.
Covered a lot. It's a big comeback episode. This was the comeback episode of the year.
Yep.
So as always, thank you for tuning in to the West Coast Draft Podcast. Rob, closing thoughts?
One of us is a comeback player of the year. All of us is a comeback player of the year. One of us click like. All of us click like. One of us subscribe. All of us subscribe. Thanks for watching, folks.
Drive safe.